Welcome to another episode of BC Spirits. I'm your host, Sean Saul, obviously. This week we're talking about rum, and I do that in abbreviated commas because the definition of rum in BC is very interesting, mainly because it's based off honey most of the time. I've only got one rum in this selection that actually is based on molasses and sugar. So it is definitely stretching the terminology of what rum can be classified as. Honey is a sweetener. It can be fermented, similar to what sugarcane and molasses can be. So it is a stretch, but it's still within the reins. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of rum heads out there that are going to complain about this episode, which is fine. But we're sort of calling it a honey spirit, honey rum sort of category. So we're going to kick it off really quickly. We're going to kick off with DeVine. So DeVine's a beekeeper honey shine. So honey, fermented, distilled. I believe this is double distilled. Double distilled in their massive still up on their property in Zanich, DeVine Spirits. Super clean on the nose. Super clean on the palate. You're getting a lot of that sort of like very clean, rummy sort of flavor profile. The honey is definitely very fragrant in there. It's a good start. Nice clean finish, good profile. If you're looking for like a local honey shine daiquiri, it'd be a good one to start off with. Next up is their Beekeepers Reserve, the honey shine that's been aged. So this one is, they have a whole bunch of barrels up there, so I wouldn't even hesitate to guess what sort of barrels they're going in. I'm probably going to say they're going to be ex-bourbon barrels, maybe the ancient grains. So there's a whole schwackload of little barrels they have up there, big ones, small ones, everything, which gives really great profiles to their spirits. On the nose, you're starting to get that caramelized honey on the nose. This one sits at 42%. It gets distilled twice and then filled up in once-use bourbon barrels. Got a nice spice to the palate. Again, if you're looking for that sort of BC substitute for your rum cocktails, these are a really good start. So next up, we're staying up in the Zanich, Couch and Valley sort of area. They're two completely different areas, but the Couch and Valley is home to Merridale, along with a whole bunch of different distilleries. But Merridale, they have their own honey rum as well. So they use the RHUMB terminology. Based on honey again, finished in, distilled twice, then finished in oak barrels on their farm at Cobble Hill. Now, Merridale's spirits, always, their barrel-aged ones, always very, very dry on the palate. The toast they use, or the char they use on their barrels is very, very low. So, ooh, there's a deeper savory note there. Again, I'd love to do a tasting with a whole bunch of like super dry, super crazy rums and throw these in blind and just see how people react to them. It's got deep tones, a little bit of savory finish to the bottom, little herbal tones to it. Again, I think these spirits that we're tasting today are a little bit underappreciated in BC right now because they don't fit into the category of rum or such. So I think the appreciation needs to come out a little bit more. So next up we have the Wayward Distillation House. They're Drunken Hive. Similar sort of process. Now they are a honey distillery. All they make is honey spirits. So their gin is honey based, their vodka is honey based, everything they do is honey based. This one's also at 42.5%. It's interesting to see alcohol content start creeping up past that 40% mark, especially in these sort of spirits. So aged for a full year in a single bourbon barrel. Oh. This is very honey forward, that caramelized honey forward. Richness is very, very different to the first three we had. This really punches you in the face with some solid caramel, which is delightful. Yeah. I try this in a Mai Tai sort of style variation. When you're using these, you're gonna have to think of them as sort of substitutes for rum. So play around with the classics, your daiquiris, your Mai Tais, that sort of stuff. Forgot to unpeel one, which I always do on episodes. But next up, this one's sort of like a little underdog because you see the Empress Gin, you see all the products they make. The Empress Gin, Empress 1908, obviously the purple gin, blue gin, I'm colorblind, is the most popular. But they do have a few fun little things out there, including this spiced rum, which is fun. Cinnamon spice, molasses, and fair trade cane sugar distilled to produce this classic spirit, spiced with the finest vanilla, orange, ginger, star anise, and orris root. So we're getting into spiced rums now. These are definitely not going to taste like your Captain Morgan's, or hopefully not. Ooh, nice on the nose. Oh, this is a classic style rum. Now, this is the only rum that actually uses molasses. Everybody else is using honey. This is a class that's got some funky Jamaica dunder sort of feels to it. But that spice is really tasty. None of these are overly sweet. There's nothing cloying yet, which is kind of interesting. Next up, we've got the Couch and Bay Rum. Oh, let me get that label right. There we go. The Couch and Bay Rum from Merridale again. So again, honey, but then aged and then spiced. I didn't actually put what spices they used on this one. As you can see, much darker than their classic. Oh, Christmas spice for days. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think you'd be using this with a little Calvados. You could literally do a Merridale Spirits mulled wine or hot cider. So get some cider from them. Get some apple cider brandy from them. Get this. Mix it up into a big freaking pot. Chuck some butter and spice in there, and you got yourself a hot butter rum. Well, that's tasty. Last up, we have the spiced honey rum from DeVine. So this one is their same as their Honey Shine, but with spices, which is really nice as well. So vanilla, allspice, anise, cinnamon, black pepper. Black pepper is always the fun one. Ooh, a lot drier than your Couch and Spiced from Merridale, and definitely it sort of sits right in between the Merridale one and the traditional rum, spiced rum style from Victoria Spirits. It sits right in the middle. It's dry but funky. The honey obviously is a little bit caramelized there. It's giving you a funky flavor profile. But another one, if you want to do, it's getting cold, let's do some hot butter rums. And I think all these are good. So top to bottom, your Honey Shines from DeVine, do some daiquiri variations. Your Merridale and your Wayward classic rums, play around with some fun classics, your Mai Tais, that sort of stuff. When you get into your spiced rums, I would do, I hate to say spiced and coke, like get some Phillips Cola and give the Victoria Spirits spice to go. Hot buttered rum with both or either of the Merridale spiced rum and the Black Bear. Two really good spiced rums that if you combine with cider, some Calvados, or some apple brandy from the island here, Steelhead's apple brandy just came out. Some more cider, some butter and some spice. You got yourself a really epic BC craft hot buttered rum. So this is the rum section. I'm going to keep putting in abbreviations. It's going to be titled as that. I don't want anyone to be harassing me and trolling me about what the definition of rum is. I think these sit in a honey spirit sort of category, but they are definitely chasing after that rum profile that everybody kind of loves. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I always have fun doing these things. 7 different, and I know there's one more rum in BC that I haven't tried yet, so it's crazy. So get out and try some stuff. Support local. Go to the swag store. Pick yourself up some BC Spirits swag. It basically funds all this stuff. And hopefully, guys, I will see you next week. Bye.